So just yesterday, Google introduced Gemini 3 Nano Banana Pro, which is the latest version of Nano Banana. It's a big upgrade. Adobe wasted no time. On day one, they integrated it as a partner model inside of Photoshop. So right now, we're going to look at some of the new features and some of the huge, big functionality. It's really opening up a new world right now. And let's jump in and have a look at some of the things we can do. So Gemini 3 Nano Banana Pro came out yesterday, and I've been playing around with it. I'm going to show you some things you can do with it that are new, and also I'm going to show you how you can use it inside of Photoshop. Now, Gemini 3 came out on Tuesday. 2 days later, the Pro version of Nano Banana. One of the big things about it, it has the ability to go up to 4K resolution now. And here's a little space battle with pirate ships that I generated. One of the things it's doing now is it understands things better, it understands context better. It can also search the web, and it can also do things like text a lot better now. So we're going to look at some of the functionality right now. And I'm just going to type in Google Gemini, and this is where we're going to go to the Gemini page right here. So what I'm going to show you is something really amazing. I'm going to upload a file right now. And I'm going to take this photograph, which is out of focus. Notice I focused on the background rather than the model. So we're just going to upload this JPEG. Change sharp focus to person. And one of the things you'll notice, it generates very, very quickly. So let's download this and have a look at it full size. All right, and here we go. We can see that the focus is being shifted onto the person. So if we look at the previous one, we know it was out of focus. Now it's in focus. All right, let's have a look at some of the functionality inside of Photoshop. So here we are, and we're using the general shipping version. This is not the beta. Adobe actually added Nano Banana Pro yesterday, so the day it came out, it was in here. So let's look at, say, this particular image here. I want to make a selection. Maybe I want to change the text from Richard Rogers to my name. So one of the things they've done now is it actually recognizes text, and it's able to change text. So I'm just going to make a selection around here. Then we're going to choose Generative Fill, and then we're going to go to the Model Switcher, and here's where we can choose Gemini 3. There was 2.5 as Nano Banana. Now we're using Nano Banana Pro, and I'm going to put in the prompt here. Change Richard Rogers to Colin Smith. And if you're going to work with text, put it inside these quotation marks, and let's just hit Generate. And if you look at that, that is pretty amazing. Same font, everything, it's even got the reflection in there. All right, let's see what else we can do. I'm going to select the entire image, Control or Command A, hit Generative Fill, and I'm going to type in, create a storyboard from this scene. So it also has the ability now to create storyboards. So you could put characters or different things in there, and let's see what it does here. And here we go, it's created a storyboard. Looks like it didn't quite get my name perfect in there, but that's just pretty cool. All right, it gets crazier though. So we start with a blank document. We select all. Then I typed in The Simpsons couch gag. And it created this. Okay, we've got something a little weird going on here, but overall, this is pretty close. And if you've ever watched The Simpsons, at the beginning of every Simpsons episode, they have this different couch gag. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun if I could replace that with some of my friends? So I'm going to grab the Photoshop Virtual Summit, and I'm just going to grab the top row here. You probably know them, Dave, Jesus, Aaron, Christina, myself. What I want to do now is I want to replace them with us. So I'm going to hit Control A to select everything, and in the prompt I'm going to put in here, replace Simpsons cartoons characters with the people in the photograph, but make them look like Simpsons characters, but still looking like themselves, and remove original photo because we don't want that original photo there anymore. And I'm going to hit Generate. All right, and then we get this, and there's Dave, Jesus, Aaron, Christina, myself. That's pretty hilarious. So I did a previous version of this. Let me show you here. So when I did this previous, Dave Cross looked a little too much like Homer Simpson, and I looked a little older than I am. So that's where I added this, but still looking like themselves. And then when I added that, we got this. I actually intentionally did this because I wanted it to look like this. So what would happen though if I wanted the musician or Taylor to be in focus? So we're going to select it all, and I hit Generative Fill, and then what I'm going to do is make person in focus, and I'm also going to add don't change colors, because sometimes it will change colors. Another thing I noticed, if you apply it to a 16-bit image, it can shift the colors a lot too. So we're going to keep this in an 8-bit image, and let's see what we get. And if we look at this, Taylor's now in focus, or more or less in focus. Could be a little bit sharper, but it's not bad. It still sort of looks like her, but if you think about it, this is all it's got to work with, it would be very, very difficult for it to do that. Let's try something completely different. A little sketch I made. So what we're going to do here is clean up the image of the dog and make it into a minimalistic kawaii character. Kawaii is Japanese for cute, so it kind of gives it that cute and harmless look. And make a brand sheet showing it on different photorealistic clothing and other collateral. Let's see what it can do. So we can see, okay, it's made the logo, it's popped it onto different collateral, phone case, a tote bag, a shirt, different things like that. That's pretty impressive. All right, what if we want to change the language? Here's another thing it can do. Let's translate it to Japanese. And anybody speak Japanese, let me know in the comments if this is accurate. And just to test it, let's also do it in German. All right, and anyone speaking German, let us know in the comments how accurate this is. So as you can see, this is kind of a first look at some of the new things that we can do inside of Gemini 3 Nano Banana Pro. There are limitations, Nano Banana, and there's also some limitations inside of Photoshop. So according to Google's site, and here's the deepmind.google, we can see some of the limitations here. It's still struggling a little bit with visual and text fidelity. Data and factual accuracy, you definitely want to check it. It can draw on things like fairy tales and stories that already exist. You can ask for characters. It understands the story when it creates the characters. Some of the translation and localization is not very good with grammar and spelling, cultural nuances, and idiomatic phrases. So it can translate. It's got some work to do. Some character features it still is working on, and complex edits and image building. So one of the things, the capabilities inside of here is that we can, here's some of the things it can do with the translations. You can see it's really quite impressive. You know, so we can do mock-ups in different languages for localization. So here from a sketch, we could create things, and you can see the prompts and things are on here. We could combine these two to create something like that. Or this one here I thought was interesting. They made a chair out of a sketch and some design. We can do things like the focus, which we kind of looked at, and there's some other things it can do with photography. It can do things with color and lighting. It can upscale to 4K. So this one you can upload multiple images, as you can see here. This is sort of what we did with the Simpsons couch gag a little bit. But you can see we can resemble up to 5 characters and up to 14 objects in a workflow. Another example they showed was this, which is really quite impressive. So one of the limitations right now in Photoshop, obviously this box is very small and difficult to work with. However, if you go to the properties panel and you want to modify it, we do get a little bigger here. There's also another way that we could do it, is if we're selecting the text and we want to choose this, and we want to choose generative fill, we can go this way. We can choose the partner model here, and we get a little bigger box to work with. The other thing is, right now it's still limited to the 1K resolution inside of Photoshop. And as far as billing, at the moment it's using the same billing here as it is using the Gemini 2.5 Nano Banana. The Pro is the same right now, where it uses 10 premium credits per generation. Now, if you go to the Google site and you go to Gemini, you can generate a certain amount per day for free, but you will hit a cap, and then it will ask you to upgrade. And what I can see on here, you know, you can do the AI Pro for $20 a month. I did see there was other plans, and this is from Google. So there's AI Pro and then the AI Ultra, which is going to be $250 a month. Now, you know, I know people have complained about Adobe charging for these generative credits for the partner models, and that's because they don't come free for Adobe. They have to pay, they got to pay the piper, in this case is Google. So as you can see, there's a lot of new things that are possible, such as translations, focus, and, some help when creating things like storyboards and some comps, design layouts, different things like that. There's a lot of things that we can do in there. Now, I don't necessarily really consider that photography or even really Photoshop. It's more just pure AI, which is working inside of Photoshop. If you look at it as a tool and separate that from your creativity and separate that from your photography and just use it, for inspiration or to do some production work or help you, I think you're going to find it's a useful tool that you can use alongside your existing skills and your existing workflows. So I'm curious though, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments underneath, and what do you think are the most promising new features? If you're interested, let me know and I can do a deeper dive into some of these features. There's a lot of things we could unravel. And if you're new, welcome to the cafe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and that way you're not going to miss any of my weekly tutorials. In fact, 80% of you who watch are not subscribed. So maybe take a moment right now and just press that subscribe button, and that way I'm going to pop up in your feed and you're not going to miss my tutorials. Anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you at the cafe.